Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city has its own mountain of problems to struggle with. The biggest one...
What's next?
Yes? Corporal? Huh?
Huh? Yes?
Fine.
Yes?
Yes?
Huh?
What do you want?
Huh? Help you with
I want to...
Sure. Where to? Got it. Hop in.
Anything on your mind?
Huh? Good move.
As a neutral, apolitical association of mages solely devoted to the study of magic, the members of the Creators Guild were among the few gifted that remained neutral during your father's war. Though not comparable to the great universities of Kalaya, it is safe to say that Fiara owes many of its magical and technological advancements to them.
Here we are. Impressive.
And there's people down the hall. We should...
Interesting. We do not get visitors often these times.
Who are you?
I'm Undergast. I suppose you could call me the head of the guild. I sensed someone was coming and that someone had an intriguing aura. Now I know who it is. You are Isamo Tahar's child, are you not?
How do you know?
Well, I have studied Isamo Tahar's magic quite extensively, especially since the end of the Mage Wars. He was a remarkable man. Yours and his magical aura have a lot of similarities.
A remarkable man?
Yes.
Does that mean you supported him?
No, that is not what I said. I merely stated that he, as a mage and a man, was remarkable, unusual or special, and therefore surprising or worth mentioning. My opinion on the war is an entirely different matter.
How are our auras similar?
Well, hard to say. You can simply tell that you're related. And there's something else about you that is, well, strange.
I get that a lot. Could you elaborate?
It is hard to say. There's something peculiar about you. An oddity in your aura which I cannot make sense of. I'm sorry. Either way, I assume you are here for a reason. How may we, the little that is left of us, help you?
I was wondering if you could tell me more about the Creators Guild.
Maybe I should begin with the question, what do you know about us already?
I know that you are a neutral association of mages that didn't participate in the Mage Wars. That's about it.
Well, and that is about the core of our guild. We are mages devoted to study, science, and the preservation of knowledge, and we do not involve ourselves in political conflict. We were founded in the year 231 by a woman named Goddess Bowdry. Ever since, the Creators Guild has been a constant in the ever-changing political landscape of Northander.
So you are the leader of the guild?
Well, I do not see myself as such, but yes, the majority of the guild considers me its leader.
The ferryman told me about an attack on the guild after the Mage Wars. He said it was the reason that there are so few mages left on the island. Is that true?
Yes, but it was not just the attack. There was also an internal disagreement.
That attack, how did it end? Am I right to assume you stopped it?
Of course. They were trying to kill us, so we fought back and killed them instead. At least until their morale was broken. Looking back, I think that this display of power was something we should have done earlier. Only because we were peaceful, the people who attacked us assumed that we were defenseless. They will not make the same mistake again.
That's a very dry way of seeing it.
If by dry you mean that it lacks the emotional aspect most people would add to a statement like this, then yes, I suppose it is. But again, it was not only the attack that diminished our numbers, but also a disagreement we had within the guild.
What kind of disagreement?
I would prefer not to talk about it. I am sorry.
Actually, we're here for a reason. We're investigating the Bloodburn. Is there anything you or your guild knows about it?
The Bloodburn? You're studying it?
I guess you could say that, yes.
Interesting. No, we do not know more about it than most alchemists or apothecaries at this point, though our general consensus is that we doubt the corporeal origin of the plague. There is magic involved in it.
Well, you're right about that. It's magical, and it's connected to the Shapers.
The Tsarland, that's interesting. Say, would you mind to tell me more? You seem to know a lot of variables which we are not aware of yet.
I'll tell you, but we should find somewhere to sit. It's a long story.
Of course. Well, this is both fascinating and peculiar.
What do you make of it?
I do not believe in visions and prophecy, unless they come from a dreamweaver, so I'm uncertain. There is no arguing that this man Rondar Lacane knew more about the Bloodburn than most people. And his clues led you to Mullendeer, which is nothing short of impressive. So you believe that the Bloodburn is caused by Shaper telepathy. Is that correct?
It is a theory, but yeah. Rogue telepathy, so to speak.
I see. I would like to come with you.
What?
I was clear, was I not? I would like to come with you. Your story is nothing short of fascinating. The Shaper City, the Bloodburn, and this Nexus. I would like to accompany you and help. I have a wide knowledge of the magic and the Shapers, and have a strong interest in finding a cure for the Bloodburn.
What about the guild? Aren't you their leader?
I am, but that does not bind me to stay. It is common for creators' mages to head out to expeditions. They have become rarer due to the war, but still, there is nothing stopping me from coming back when our business is concluded.
Well, why not? Just know that it will be dangerous.
I can defend myself. Quite well, in fact. However, there is one thing I need to finish before I come with you. Study. Maybe you could help. This would facilitate matters.
As long as it doesn't take too much time, yes. What are you studying?
Simple. I have always been fascinated by the notion of sentience and the mind in general. What creates consciousness? What is it that distinguishes us as humans from a wolf who is slave to his instincts? Quite recently, a group of refugees who arrived in Everlight told me of a bizarre sight. They said that a stone golem took over the abandoned mine near the gates and has grown a soul, and apparently has been trading with the villagers and even befriended one of them. It all seems highly unlikely, but I want to investigate it.
What do you need my help with?
Well, this is all an exciting scholarly prospect, but a golem is still a golem. So if the monster goes feral, I will require assistance. I can defend myself, but still it would be unwise to go there alone. I will get prepared and meet you at the mine. Do you know where it is?
Tell me.
Up north, at the top of the Iskander mountain. I will go as soon as possible.
Fair enough. I'll see you there.
Odd fellow. But he's a capable mage, that's for sure.
Now would you look at that?
Sure.
That's the way?
Sure.
Zarek guides me.
Let's see. Will do. Interesting.
Looking for potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need.
Good choice.
Yes, come closer. I'm sure I have just what you need. Pleasure doing business with you.
Yes?
Come
Wanna
again.
trade?
I'm getting new wares by the next moon's turn. Come again.
May Tiara
Armor,
bless your
shields,
path.
everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords.
Yes?
Farewell. The best wares from
Intriguing.
Kalea to Northander. You know how to bargain, don't you?
As a neutral, apolitical
Axes, daggers, swords, everything for the wary traveler. A fair offer. Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Come take a look. I'm sure I've got something that might spark your interest. Farewell.
as a neutral.
Yes.
Yes, come closer. I'm sure I have just what you need. Come again. May Tiara bless your path.
Yes?
Understood.
Got it.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city has its own mountain of problems to struggle with.
We should get moving.
Huh?
That way. All right. Sure.
Sure.
Nowadays, few people remember the reason for Everlight's wealth, the glittering mine. For a long time, it was believed that moonsilver, the most precious and most durable ore of Io, could only be mined in the Windwall Mountains, the empire of the dwarves. All this changed when an unsuspecting farmer found a piece of the shimmering ore while digging a well.
Yes?
I understand. Sure.
Ah, it is you.
Didn't you say in front of the mine?
I did, but then I realized that it might be wise to scout ahead in order to get a clearer picture of the situation. Come, let us go. The golem and its supposed friend should be further. Follow me.
Got it.
Good move.
That way. All right. Sure.
What? That's all? Huh? I'm only getting started.
I did not expect so many creatures.
Strange.
They...
Fire wielders!
Never mind.
Blazes! Help me, somebody! Blazes! Help me,
Killed
somebody!
one of our heroes.
What do we need?
Yes?
Come on! Don't die on
Back
us
on
now!
your feet. We need you. Back on your feet. We need you.
Yes?
Got it.
Look, up ahead.
Someone's coming.
And its friend.
I know.
Let's see what they have to say.
Anything on your mind?
Huh?
Yes? Greetings. Are you...
Rick, who are they? I'm afraid.
Don't worry, Hubert. They are not here to hurt you. Judging by the sounds of fighting we heard, I take it you took care of those undead. If so, you have my thanks. They appeared out of nowhere just a couple of days ago and locked us in.
They're dead. We're here to ask you some questions about your friend.
I figured. So I'm guessing you heard the rumors, right? Yes, this is the golem with a soul. And yes, I am the odd fellow protecting him. But before I tell you anything, promise me that you won't hurt him.
I know he might look intimidating, but he's actually quite sensitive.
I promise.
Good. That's good.
So, what do you want to know? You didn't come here to take him away, did you?
Hubert is a stone golem. Why didn't you kill these undead yourselves if they trapped you?
Kill? Hubert? I told you he couldn't hurt a fly. He doesn't look it, but in his head, he's just like a child.
Why Hubert?
It was my grandfather's name. And one day, I simply started calling Hubert that, and it stuck.
How did you come to know Hubert? I mean, you don't just come up to a golem and start a conversation.
Right. You don't. I found him laying half dead just outside this mine. Some creature drained him of his essence, a ghost or something.
Darkness came and stole my light. It hurt. It hurt so bad.
I know, Hubert, but it's over now.
For some reason, I immediately noticed that Hubert was different. In every other situation, I would have simply turned away and alarmed the guard, but I just couldn't. So I went into the city to find a mage.
Who? Joseph. His name was Joseph.
He is not with the Creators Guild. And this Joseph agreed to help you.
Well, he still owed me a favor, so... Yes, I asked him to heal Hubert. And even though he told me it was dangerous, he eventually did it. When it was done, he told me to get away as soon as possible, as it might wake up again soon. But just like when I had first seen him there, I simply knew that there was something in him. Something that made him more than just a construct. So I waited, and it turned out I was right. You can figure out the rest. I took him into the mine, as the Everlight guards would have attacked him on sight. And here, we became friends.
So you took him into the cave to protect him?
Yes. Of course, word eventually got through to the townsfolk. But you're the first to follow up on the rumors.
And before these undead woke up, this place was actually quite peaceful. A bit gloomy, yes, but safe. And that's what matters.
How long ago is it that you found him?
Let me think. Almost 4 moons now.
How did you become friends, though?
Rick, friendly. Rick always friendly. Rick care for me.
Well, maybe friendship isn't the proper word for it. It's more like I care for him, the way a father cares for a child. And yes, I know how funny that sounds considering Hubert's size.
Hubert, what makes you different from other golems? When did you realize you can think for yourself?
I don't know. I always had thoughts, always had ideas, but I did not know how to tell people about them. After the ghost attacked me and Rick healed me, he taught me how to speak.
Taught?
Yes. Yes, of course. Rick taught me how to speak.
Hubert is a very good student. He learned how to speak almost fluently in just a couple of months. If only men were half as eager to learn, maybe we wouldn't be in this mess we find ourselves in.
He could also carry the spirit of a person in him. Did you ever think of that?
If so, it was the spirit of an infant. As I said, all I did was offer Hubert guidance and, well, love.
What are your plans for Hubert? Neither he nor you can stay in this cave forever.
Honestly, I don't know. Hubert is such a good lad, and I want him to have a normal, happy life. As bizarre as that sounds when talking about a golem. He would love to make friends and...
Yes, friends. Rick, will these misters be my new friends?
Hubert, what did we say about interrupting other people when they're talking?
It's rude. And it makes people sad.
Do you want me to be sad, Hubert?
No, Rick. I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. Just don't do that again.
Anyway, I try not to think about it. And until you showed up and killed those undead, I wasn't even sure we'd ever make it out of that cave again.
All right, look. My friend here would like to learn more about Hubert's uniqueness. It would be of great scientific value. Would it be possible for us to examine him?
I don't know. Will it harm him?
Golems were created to endure pain.
What my friend is trying to say is he will do everything he can to keep Hubert comfortable.
What do you think, Hubert?
I don't know.
Fine. If you think it will help us understand Hubert better, then I don't want to be an obstacle. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Then let us begin. Interesting. Truly interesting. Hubert, I am done. You can rest now.
It wasn't bad, Rick. It tickled a little, but it didn't hurt.
So, what did you find out?
Not much. But let me discuss it with my companion first. Tahar, if you please.
Where is the kind sir going, Rick? I liked him.
They're just going to have a talk. They'll come back.
What's next?
So let me be brief. I inspected Hubert's magical core, and it is rather unusual. It's overflowing with magical essence, unlike anything I've ever seen. My theory is that his remarkable intelligence comes from this irregularity. Unfortunately, I believe that the very same irregularity is also dangerous. The essence within him seems unstable.
It is very likely that it will eventually get out of control and cause an explosion unlike anything this land has ever seen. To me, it appears we have two options. We can destroy the golem, or take it back to the guild and try to harness its power, with the chance to stabilize the core and allow it to live.
I do not think I should make that choice. I consider myself a rational person, but I'm afraid that my fascination with the matter clouds my judgment.
Couldn't we just take him somewhere secluded and leave him be?
I'm afraid that's out of the question. We just don't know what the long-term effect of this instability would be. He could, for example, become feral and use his incredible power to wipe out a city or two. Killing him is the merciful option if his welfare is your primary concern.
What do you mean by harness his power?
Well, the possibilities are endless. If we can replicate the structure of its core and stabilize it, it has the potential to change the world. We might even be able to recreate it, thus giving us a power source with the chance to recreate life.
Obviously, there is no guarantee these experiments will bear fruit. We would also be risking blowing Everlight to smithereens in the process.
If I had to make a guess, I would say that there is a 40% chance that the golem will be stabilized and we will be able to harness the core. A 40% chance that it will die in perceived agony. And
That's a tough...
Of course.
Yes?
Let's see.
What do you want?
Anything on your mind?
So, what did you and your friend talk about?
Well, there's no good way to say this. Hubert's magic core is very unusual. It is overflowing with energy, and while this energy is what makes him sentient, it also makes him dangerous. If we let Hubert stay here, the core might eventually become unstable and explode.
The only way to save him is to take him to the Creators Guild, where they can try to control his power. Thing is, it might be a painful experience for Hubert.
I'm sorry, but it's the only way. The alternative would be to kill him.
You bloody monster! No! There's no way I'm letting you do this! He's a person, damn it, not some toy for some mages to tinker with! You'll have to kill me first!
Rick, you're outnumbered, and I'm offering you and Hubert a chance. Don't you see it? You can either die here like a fool, or you can make sure Hubert gets through the entire ordeal together with you.
Well, I guess you're right, aren't you? I don't have a chance against you all. But let me say this. If I learn that anything happens to Hubert, I will come and hunt you down, even if it costs my life.
Hubert, it's time to go. We're moving into a new home.
What? I'm going to see the outside again? Just how you promised.
Yes, just how I promised.
Well, I must say that I'm happy you made that decision. I will go back to the guild now and prepare my things for our journey as discussed. I will see you there.
What do we need?
Corporal?
More of them. Fine.
Now would you look at that? Yes?
This way, right?
Interesting.
Yes?
Let's see.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the May.
Let's see.
Interesting.
Yes?
As a neutral, a political association of mages solely devoted to...
We should get moving.
Sure.
Now would you look at that?
Blasted armor.
Yes?
Ah, there you are. In case you were wondering, I sent 2 mages to help Richard and Hubert find their way to the guild. It will be a marvelous opportunity to deepen our knowledge on magic. I'm still fascinated by the idea that an abundance of magic is able to create sentience. Just think of what that entails. Either way, I am ready to join you. I need to take care of some formalities first, but I'm ready to depart before next dawn. Where shall we meet? According to your story, the Shaper City is in the middle of Iskander, is it not?
What do we need?
Something you need?
Yes?
What's next?
Huh?
Interesting.
Got it.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage War. In the shadow of the eponymous mountain lies the wasteland referred to as the Foot of Barga Gor. It is home to the Orcish tribe called the Fire Wielders, as well as to many unforgiving beasts, from the undead to demons. While most travelers stay away from Barga Gor, in the shadow of the eponymous mountain lies the wasteland referred to as the Foot of Barga Gor. It is home to the Orcish tribe called the Fire Wielders, as well as to many unforgiving beasts, from the undead to demons. While most travelers stay...
Huh?
What is it?
Something you need?
Let's see.
Few people know that there is a reason for Barga Gor's lifelessness. As though covered by an arcane veil, the mountain and its surrounding wasteland...
Wait a moment.
What is it?
The strange human I've been telling you about. The one with the powerful aura. I think he is here, along with something else.
Something else?
Yes. Let's be careful. Yes?
This way, right?
Niehav's hammer. These goblins were mutilated. What creature would do such a thing?
Well, Barga Gor isn't the most hospitable place on Io. So the answer is... Mini.
Did you hear that?
Yes. And I'm not sure I like it.
Shit. What in blazes are you doing here? Get out!
Kill that thing! Now!
Come on. Don't die on us now. Come on. Don't die on us now.
We should get moving.
Huh?
Corporal? As you want.
Shit. Shit! What did you do?
Save your life?
Oh, really? Well, thanks for nothing, sir, hero. I invoked that demon. The Devourer.
You? Why?
To share a shrub of fucking grapes with her. To fight her, damn it! What did you think?
Her?
Yeah. I know that thing doesn't look like your average sailor man's fantasy. But according to the Encyclopedia Sinistra, Devourers only ever possess women. Thus the pronoun.
You summoned a demon to fight it?
Well, for that magic you carry in you, you certainly know shit about demonology. You're not a scholar, I take it?
I was a battle mage. Royal Army.
Figures. To learn how to control a demon race, you first need to fight it. Tame it, as we say. And guess what? That's just what I was trying to do until you popped in and nullified the fucking ritual.
We found a bunch of mutilated goblins further up the cave. Did the Devourer do this?
Yeah. I had some difficulties while casting the ritual, let's put it that way. A demon doesn't always show up where you want to conjure him. Sometimes when they sense something else near the gate, they simply materialize right there. In her case, it was the goblins.
That was foolish. She might have left the cave and gone rampant in the cows.
Well, she didn't, did she? And even if that would have been the case, you orcs know how to handle yourselves in battle.
That's interesting. Can you tell me more about the process of taming a demon?
What am I, your bloody teacher? Go read a book.
So, you just came to this cave in Barga Gore to battle a demon?
Why should I tell you?
You're the brooding type, aren't you?
No. I just don't get why 4 strangers who just fucking interrupted my ritual now think I'm gonna tell them all about my life. Don't you have, I don't know, somewhere to go?
We could use someone with your talents.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm not a mercenary. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Can we...
Save your breath, Tahar. He's not worth it.
Wait, Tahar? As in... Shit. You're his son? The betrayer's child?
I am.
Huh. That's unexpected. What in blazes are you doing here? I mean, shouldn't you be up in Greykeep with all your royal friends?
I should, but things happened. You want to hear the story?
Yeah, I think I do. The Bloodburn. Huh. Am I the only one who finds it fucking ironic that the leader of the Purity of Light is trying to save mankind?
It's ironic. I agree.
And suspicious if you ask me. But who am I to judge? You know, I've always been somewhat fascinated by your father.
How so?
Well, his methods might have been questionable, but he was damn right about everything he said. He saw this whole shit show coming before anyone else did.
You mean the persecution of mages?
Yeah. It has never been a secret that the people fear what they don't know, is it? It was only a question of time until that fucking hatred would pop open like a blister full of pus. Your father, Isamo Tahar, saw that coming and tried to stop it from happening. He had the guts to do what other people were too afraid to do.
Well, his goal was right, but his methods were wrong.
Yeah, the war is never pretty. Anyway, your story is as intriguing as your father's, I'll give you that. And since I don't exactly have many obligations, I'll take you up on your offer. If it still stands.
Why? What do you gain from this?
I told you. I like the idea of working with Isamo Tahar's living heir. And also I'm curious about what there is to this Bloodburn.
Well then, welcome aboard.
Thanks. We can also talk once we reach that city of yours. Mullendir, wasn't it? You said it's in Iskander?
Yes. But just wait at the border of Barga Gore. We'll join you once we've done what we came here to do.
Sounds great. Let me just clean up the mess here first.
Sure.
Odd man.
I'll keep you shielded. You'll regret this.
Zarek guides me.
Will do.
Yes, of course. Let me know what you need.
Interesting.
In the shadow of the eponymous mountain lies the wasteland referred to as the Foot of Bargagor. It is home to the Orcish tribe called the Firewielders, as well as to many unforgiving beasts, from the undead to demons. While most travelers stay away from Bargagor for this very reason,
Child's play.
Yes?
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city has its own mountain.
Got it. Now would you look at that? What do we need?
Yes.
Interesting.
That's the way?
Let's see.
As a neutral, apolitical association of mages solely devoted to the study of magic, the members of the Creators Guild were among the few gifted that remained neutral during your father's war.
Corporal?
Really?
Understood. Now would you look at that?
Armors and shields, everything from copper daggers to moon silver swords. Pleasure doing business with you. Come again. I'm getting new wares by the next moon's turn. Looking for potions and scrolls? I'm sure I have just what you need. Good choice.
Of the few refugees who make it to Everlight, many are shocked to find that their troubles do not end there. Though its neutrality as a city-state left it largely unscathed during the Mage Wars, the city
Corporal? Interesting.
Though your legs ache and your stomach burns with hunger, you cannot help but feel a vague...
Yes?
Who is this? Huh. Ugh! What's this? Filthy, foul meat! Why, come! God King has present. God King grateful for so much flesh. God King will not have to eat scions for years now. This is his thanks. It's a spoon. Found long time ago in depths of caves. God King used it to cook flesh. Helps the power. You will have it, yes? What do strange flesh people want?
Yes?
I think we'll be... Got it. Yes? Interesting.
What do you want?
Just checking how you're settling in.
I'm good. Thanks. Interesting place you found yourself here. I'll give you that.
Back in the cave, you told me that you fought that demon in order to gain control over it. I'd still like to know how that works.
It's complicated.
That's it?
For now.
How did you end up in Barca Gore?
It's a long story. Suffice to say, I've been on the road for quite some time now. And Barca Gore just happened to be my last spot before I ran into you. Let's talk about you instead. You've gathered a ton of followers, one outcast after another. Tell me, Tahar, do you trust them?
Some of them.
The more likable ones, I'd wager. To be honest, I don't understand how you can do it. You have that look about you, and it's driving me nuts.
What do you mean by that?
I've observed you on the way back from Barca Gore. The way you move, the way you talk. I get why other people follow your lead. I really do. You simply have some kind of strange charisma. It's not visible at first glance, but it's there. You give people hope. I guess that's what it boils down to. You attract outsiders, and you get them to march under your banner.
How is that a bad thing?
It's a bad thing because you're too careless. All these people, did it ever occur to you that they're outsiders for a reason? The treacherous orc, the renegade elf, the exiled dwarf? Still, you trust them. Even if you put your stern face on, I can see that you do. That's why people follow you. But trust doesn't protect from betrayal. But let's stop this right here, okay? I'm sure you have things to do, and so do I.
Understood.
I must say, I am impressed.
With Mullendeer? Yes. It's quite a sight. I still can't believe we're the first ones who found this place.
It seems unlikely, yes, but yet it happened. Isgrim, the dwarf, told me about it. He said that the rock illusion shielding the entrance vanished as soon as you spoke the words, and that it did not react to Isgrim himself.
Tell me, Tahar, what do you make of that?
I don't know. It might have been coincidence.
That is true.
I believe we stand on the verge of a change. Things have happened, Tahar. Things, the extent of which we have not even come close to comprehending. And they have set something in motion.
How do you know this? Are you some kind of medium?
A medium? No, quite the opposite. I'm an observer. As you have undoubtedly noticed, I lack the, let us call it, emotional intensity most people display in their daily lives. That can be a challenge, but it also allows me a unique perspective on the world.
And to me, it is evident that the war your father started has done more than simply given birth to the purity of light. It was the first pebble in what will soon become an avalanche.
You're talking about the Bloodburn?
Among other things, yes. But as I said, there is more to it. All this, your journey, your role in what Rondar Lacane believes to be a vision sent by Aenir. It is only the beginning. But let us continue this discussion when I can give you more than vague, semi-prophetic statements.
All right. We'll talk later.
Why? When?
When something comes up. I'll go prepare for our next mission now.
Understood.
Yes?
Yes? What is it?
Where did you grow up? You don't look Nortandian.
I do not. That is correct. I grew up in Imperia.
Imperia? That's a long way from here.
I know, but I hardly have any memories. My parents fled from the Civil War and set over to Northander when I was only 4 years old.
So you were refugees?
Yes, much like many Nortandians are now. We lived in the Utran lands, and my parents are still there.
What's it like to live in Northander as an Empyrean?
Well, it was my impression that Utran people are by nature a lot more skeptical towards outsiders than, for example, the citizens of Everlight. All in all, however, I cannot complain. Both my father and my mother found work quite quickly, and thanks to my occupation as first scholar of the Creators Guild, they now live a quite comfortable life.
And when did you discover your magic?
At a very early age. I believe I was 7 at that time. I must have had an outbreak, but I can hardly remember any of it. All I know is that my mother's employer, who was a mage himself, immediately took me in. I went to Everlight when I was 10, and did not leave there ever since. Until now.
Interesting. You're the first Empyrean I've met.
I am not surprised.
I've noticed that you use both white and black magic in combat. I've never seen anyone do that before. Don't the two schools exclude each other?
Normally, yes. The essence of white and of black magic deeply oppose each other. Trying to combine both of them usually has a similar effect on a mage's mind as adding water onto a patch of burning oil. I, however, never had that problem. The first time I found out was at the Arcane University in Greyfell, where I studied. The white magic spell I had cast on a rabbit to heal his wounded paw accidentally killed it. I was very young at that time, and I knew my professor would be upset if he found out, so I channeled my energy on undoing what I had done. As a result, I created an undead rabbit. It immediately went feral, and I put it back to sleep. But rather than feeling the terrible headache that had been described to us as an effect of combining these two schools, I felt a slight sense of, well, exhilaration. I secretly continued these experiments during my studies, and found out that whatever it is that causes this mental discord among normal mages did not affect me.
Do you have an explanation for this?
No, I do not. Maybe it has to do with the way my mind is structured, or maybe it is a simple coincidence.
Huh. Well, that's odd. Goodbye. Yes?
Huh?
Can you tell me more about your craft? About demonology?
And why's that? Thinking about a career change?
It's certainly a powerful school of magic. I could see myself dabbling in it.
Well, the moment you start dabbling with it is the moment you enjoy a very painful death. There's a reason demonology is forbidden. Most people who mess with it die. But sure, if you have questions, ask.
Let's start with the basics. What's the core principle of demonology?
It's simple. You study demons and their powers, and bind them to your will. And thus you gain access to their powers. Take a devourer. Once you've studied and subdued her to your will, you can access her strength. And I'm not talking about merely summoning her. You can channel her powers.
How is that supposed to work? Channeling their powers.
Hard to describe. Just imagine that the demon becomes a part of you. You connect it with your magic, so to speak. And when needed, you can call on it to help you. It's not just the power that comes with it. It's also the feeling. Channeling the essence of a Zarek Nar, a tribe eater. It's a feeling that compares to nothing else in this world. You can't understand it till you've done it.
So in order to bind them, you need to beat them in battle, correct?
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, but yeah. In a nutshell, that's it.
And I'm guessing that's what makes it so dangerous.
Among other things, yes. What can also happen is that your body simply can't handle a demon's unleashed essence. It can cause a brain rupture similar to what these masks the Purity use. And, to be honest, that happens to 8 out of 10 students of demonology. They subdue a demon, get excited, and let all their energy rush in at once. As a result, their brains explode like a watermelon hit with a warhammer.
So, why exactly is demonology forbidden?
Because it's dangerous. And because demonologists can be extremely powerful. More than some members of the ruling caste would like to see.
Is there a limit to how many demons you can bind?
No. If there were, I wouldn't still be traveling after all this time.
Interesting. Thanks for the insight.
Sure.
What's next? Got it.
Zal Raka.
Gore, how are you and the Fire Wielders settling in?
All right, I guess. Though there've been some quarrels between my warriors and these Mohir elves. But don't worry, I took care of it. And that elven scryer promised to do the same. Nonetheless, Tahar, I have to say it. I don't like this place. Not at all.
Why not?
Well, I guess it's the people who once lived here. The Shapers. They were corrupted. And I can feel that corruption even now.
Corrupted?
Yeah. Their customs, their culture. They were completely detached from the order of nature.
How so?
Do you even need to ask? Just look around. Ghost warriors, strange machines, strange buildings. Especially this place, this Nexus. They thought they were above everything, even the gods. And they meddled with things they didn't understand. It's disgusting.
Well, they're dead now.
Maybe. But I can still feel their presence. Anyway, nothing we can do about it. If the Shapers caused the blood burn, I understand why we need this place. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Yes? Now that you look at that. What's it like to change form? I've been wondering about that since I met you.
I can imagine. It's exhilarating and strange at the same time. If it taught me one thing, then it's how foolish it is to put the mind above every other aspect of the body. Many people do that, especially scholars or mages.
What do you mean?
Because the shape of our flesh is so much more than just a shell. It defines us. When I take on the form of a wolf, for example, this wolf isn't just me with fangs and paws. It's a different version of myself.
A different version?
Yes. You can understand if you haven't been there. But I guess you could say that when I'm taking on a creature's form, a part of my mind gets infused with that creature's essence. The thirst for the hunt. Thinking as part of a pack, just to name the most obvious aspects. They meld with my mind. When I was young and first started shifting, the creature always dominated. It was like a feverish dream, and I had almost no control over my actions. With time, it got better.
Did you ever completely lose control when you were in another form?
In the beginning, yes. But the Elder always made sure I was in a controlled environment when I did my first transformations.
How does it feel to shift into a spider?
Strange. Being a mammal, a wolf or bear, it feels different, but still somehow familiar. A spider is something else entirely. The way you see, the way you perceive, the way you feel. The first time I shifted, I couldn't bear it for more than a minute, and it haunted me for weeks after that.
Yeah, I imagine. How do you learn a new form?
That's complicated. First you have to understand that creature. Observe it. Live with it if possible. That can take months, years, sometimes decades. Then there's what we shamans call the first joining. You have to visualize your shift.
How does that work?
I can't explain it. It's like your first bloodshed. It can't be explained, only experienced.
So in theory, could you transform into anything? Even, say, a wyvern? A dragon?
In theory, yes. In practice, there's no known shapeshifter who has ever done that. Save for old orcish legends, maybe.
Why not?
First off, there aren't many dragons around to study. And even if there were, you aren't likely to survive it. Secondly, transforming into something that enormous, it can be lethal. Our minds, our essence just isn't fit to govern such a massive body. Only some years ago there was talk of an Ash Reaver shifter who had attempted to morph into a troll. He succeeded, but his heart, the troll's heart, stopped before he could take a single step. So you see why most shifters aren't that eager to experiment.
Huh, wow. That's definitely interesting. Thanks for taking the time to explain.
Sure.
Back in Bar Gagor, you told me that you think the orc should strive to be more. What do you mean by that? Do you consider your culture to be, well, inferior?
Inferior? No, not at all. On the contrary, I'm glad to be a fire wielder, and not a human or an elf.
Why?
Because not so unlike the Shapers, your culture is bigoted, strange. You like to tell yourselves you're more than the animals you slaughter for food. You call yourselves civilized. But in the end, you look for the struggle just as anything and anyone else does. But of course you don't admit to it. You want to be better than that. And the result are lies, intrigue, wars, and assassinations. Your culture is so bizarre that it's almost amusing.
Well, you have a point.
I know. So no, I don't consider our culture to be inferior. But we've gone astray. Fools such as Krell was one. They're the reason your race looks down on us. If Zakrak had wanted us to be ever-fighting, ravaging brutes, he wouldn't have given us minds to begin with. Every brawl, every battle, every war has to have a purpose. It isn't something done for pleasure. Yes, it can be enjoyed. But at its core, it is ritual. The most basic one of nature.
In other words, violence and war are good and necessary, but only within measure?
Yes, and it should be learned from. That's where most orcs disagree. They claim to value wisdom, but when asked to choose between words and a club, they always choose the club. And as you see, this is why our culture has stagnated. In its current state, there will never be an orc empire, a great tribe, or the earth-shaking horde Zarek envisioned.
So what you want is to lead your people to a better future?
You make it sound so dramatic. For now, the Fire Wielders are a good start. And by helping you, they will hopefully see that diplomacy and strength don't always contradict each other. After that, we shall see.
Don't you think a world without violence is possible?
No.
Why? Isn't that what we should all aspire to?
We should aspire to a lot of things. But tell me, Tahar, this world has existed for millennia. And has there ever been peace? Lasting peace?
No.
Exactly. And you don't think there's a reason for this? As I said, our very existence is based on conflict. Finding food, not freezing to death. Living means to struggle. Your people, with your warm clothes and banquets, try all in your power to forget that fact. But you can't, because ultimately, there's as much thirst for struggle in you as in an orc. What we orcs believe is that we should embrace it, that we should just face the truth, even if it's ugly. That the ways of nature can't be changed by its creation. It's like fighting the tides.
So what? Do we just kill each other whenever we feel like it?
No. What we need is a way to channel our urges. Ceremonial battles, arenas, A society that is centered around survival and strength, and gains rather than loses stability from it. Because if we simply suppress these urges, such as humans, the elves, and the dwarves do, they will at one point only erupt even more violently.
I get your point, but I'm sure there must be another way.
There isn't. Anyway, where were we?
Did you always have these ambitions?
No.
Then where did they come from?
None of your business, Tahar. Sorry.
All right.
Sure.
I'll be off. What do we need?